Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finals of the StarCityGames.com Season 1 Invitational conclusion to Season 1 of the 2018 SCG Tour, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Ultimate Guard and Twitch. Aaron Barich, Zach Elsik, great sportsmanship as they will shake hands. Aaron Barich, number 2 overall seed, will be on the play. He has a Glistener Elf, and this game could be over very quickly, Todd Anderson.
This is the matchup where Glistener Elf will shine. Even though Glistener Elf doesn't have any form of evasion, there aren't blockers from the Ironworks combo side. He has 6 total creatures, 2 copies of Mirror Retriever, 4 copies of Scrap Trawler. That's not enough. And Aaron Barich has a window here to just kill on turn 2. But I think it's more realistic that he'll win on turn 3 as long as Elsik doesn't have a Mirror Retriever.
I'm inclined to agree, as there's a copy of Noble Hierarch. The follow-up here for Barich will be, it looks like an Inkmoth Nexus, an attack for 2 Exalted, 8 to go for the Infect players. Elsik will pick up 2 poison counters. We will go back over to Zach, who's just got that basic forest. He will draw a card. Again, Elsik's deck is capable of going off on the 3rd turn of the game. It is unlikely. It is definitely a turn 4 combo deck with some resiliency. But the difficult thing here for Zach, because I think he might be playing an Ichor Wellspring, and you can see the problem if he does, Todd. No blockers.
No blockers. Well, that's fairly common for this deck. He's, potentially set up with a Mox Opal to go off on the 4th turn. But as you can see, Aaron Barich playing super fast. Game 1 in the books, a minute and 11 in.
This could be the fastest invitational finals that we ever do see, as Aaron Barich is going to win game number 1 here over Zach Elsik very quickly. In fact, not messing around over Ironworks combos. Elsik did basically nothing. We'll take a short break. We'll get ready for game 2. Might be as quick as the first. Don't go anywhere. The length of our breaks are the length of the games, and that one was short, so our break was shorter.
We didn't want to subject you to 3 minutes of commercials.
No.
When the game was only a minute. That's just not fair.
That's not fair. We could have longer. The commercials could be longer than the match, actually. That could be something we strive for. I think that would make everyone at home really happy. What do you think?
They're already pretty upset in general.
What do you think?
Just Twitch chat, if you just log in, it's just...
Yeah, well, never know. Never do know.
I do my best to get in there and click the timeout every now and then on people getting a little too rowdy.
This is fun. I just got a tweet from Lan Ho. It says he is driving with Meddling Mage, which is, of course, Chris Pakula. And listening to your analysis of the Invitational Finals, Chris asked, they're making Barich versus Elsik sound like Warriors versus Cavs, which is pretty accurate. It's pretty one-sided.
Look, I'm not going to say it's that, because I watched all 4 games of the finals.
Oh, yeah?
I think that games 1 and 3 were very winnable. A mistake on one side from J.R. Smith in game 1.
Mistake? What are you talking about?
And then game 3 was very close, down to the wire. It slipped away a little bit at the end. I believe they lost by 6.
Yeah, not a ton.
But a few things, go their way. A few more made 3-pointers in the clutch spots. It could have been 2-1 Cavs to start the series.
So are you saying the matchup for Elsik is worse than Warriors versus Cavs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you might be right. As here's a Noble Hierarch for Aaron. Elsik starts things off with an Inventor's Fair and a Terrarian. For Barich, a Breeding Pool, and the Noble Hierarch. So Barich will have to set up a turn 3 kill here. But again, Elsik's deck can go off pretty quick, so he'll play a Chromatic Star, followed up with a Mox Opal. Mox Opal is how he can enable a 3rd turn kill, Todd.
Oh, that and Mind Stone. But the 3rd turn kills from the Ironworks combo are pretty rare. I think it's more consistently a turn 4 Goldfish. But you have a lot of ways to dig for your combo pieces, so your deck is very consistent. You have a lot of artifacts that sacrifice to draw cards, so you get to find these Scrap Trawlers and the Korokon Ironworks pretty quickly, even alongside things like Inventor's Fair to dig it out.
Elsik will bust a Terrarian. That'll get him 2 green mana, and of course draw him a card. Now he'll take a look at 5 cards as he plays a copy of Ancient Stirrings. Stirrings will yield him a Kark Clan Ironworks. So that's one half of the old combo. Green mana floating. See if Zach has anything else to do with that mana.
And as long as he has a land to play that Kark Clan Ironworks next turn, which I think he does, there's a chance he goes off. I don't know the sequence of cards necessary because it is a nightmare to watch Ironworks combo off. Well, but it can happen.
It can happen. Barich very quickly plays a Windswipe Teeth of Blighted Agent. He says go ahead, and passing with a lot of confidence because he knows I can't really do anything, and he also knows, Zach, you have to kill me this turn because you really have no interaction. So
there is one potential card from Aaron Barich in the main deck that could put a kink in the Ironworks plan. and that is a 1-of Spell Pierce.
Okay.
And Spell Pierce could be the card that just ends the game on the spot, countering the Ironworks, and then untapping and playing a few pump spells for the win. On top of that, a Timely Dismember on something like Scrap Trawler, which is also a 1-of, could also gunk up the works.
Another Mox Opal after Elsik does float a green. Now he'll tap for 4 mana. He's going to play Karkland Ironworks. Does Aaron Barich have that Spell Pierce? It looks like the answer is no. So
F6.
that's correct. Elsik off to the races. He'll start by sacrificing Chromatic Star, get himself 2 colorless mana, and he will draw a card from the trigger. Elsik will draw.
I'm just not going to say words for a few minutes. I'm going to let you speak through every iteration.
This is what I get to take care of. Thank you so much.
Too much.
Too kind. As Elsik will sacrifice another Chromatic Star. Up to 4 colorless mana, draw another card. Picked up a copy of Chromatic Sphere, it looks like. Sphere, of course, doesn't draw you a card when you sack it to Ironworks like Star does.
Yep. But it's still very good. You get to filter mana through it. Getting a green mana is often important for things like Ancient Stirrings.
A Mirror Retriever going to come down. Elsik will sacrifice that, which will allow him to return an artifact from the graveyard to his hand. It'll be Chromatic Star. Down to 3 colorless, Elsik will go. Let's go up to 5 and draw another card is what Zach will do. Looks like he picked up a copy of Ether Hub.
Ooh, I believe that is an Engineered Explosives somewhere lying in there. And that is one of the cards that Zach Elsik can use alongside things like Chromatic Sphere and Terrarion to put a few counters on it and then pop the explosives to take care of the creatures. Whether or not he can produce 4 total mana, 2 of which are colored this turn, is another matter entirely.
Yeah, it appears he's going to have some difficulty doing that. The couple of cards that he did draw were 2 hubs of the Ether variety. We're dead. We're dead.
What is
We're dead.
this?
We're dead. We're dead.
I'm
We're
sorry,
dead.
what
You're
is
dead.
this?
You're dead. 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 Game is over. You're dead.
Oh, it's not even hard.
Aaron's not wasting any time. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
It's not even hard.
Aaron Barich going to win game number 2.
This feels a lot like watching the Vintage Championships yesterday, where someone would cast Paradoxical Outcome and draw 15 cards or whatever, and then just lose to mopey 3-mana artifact creatures.
Yeah, well, Aaron Barich's cleaning up a little faster than Andy did yesterday. I will say that, as he is up 2-0 with Infect over Ironworks combo. Elsik will be on the play. We'll check out his sideboard and see if he can steal at least 1 game in the finals. Just a bit. Oh, we are back and getting ready to watch game number 3 between Aaron Barich and Zach Elsik. It's Infect and Ironworks combo. For Elsik, boy, this is a tough one, but he's got a little bit of interaction for Nature's Claims.
At least 2 swings, sometimes 1 swing.
Are
with
you
enough
done?
bump
Are you
spells.
done?
Just saying.
Are you done?
Okay, fine.
You're not sideboarding it.
Fine.
Just stop.
Look, he's just showboat a little. He's up 2-0 in the finals.
There you go. That's a good
of
way
the
to do it.
Invitational. Anyway, 2 Nature's Claim, 2 Descender's Deliverance. Obvious inclusions here. I don't expect him to bring in Dismember. I actually think he should cut the one in his deck. But I do think Spell Pierce is very good here as well. He has a bunch of pump spells and protection spells that probably aren't going to be great, but he has to realize that Zach is probably going to be bringing in Galvanic Blast as well as Gear for Ether Grid. So maybe.
Well,
Maybe that's it.
those are the options there for both players between Aaron Barich and Zach Elsik. Barich has made it look very easy thus far. 2 turn 3 kills. No surprise there. Elsik's a turn 4 deck, and he's got very little interaction. Interesting thing about Ironworks combo is this is a very unique and it is a very good deck, but to me, Todd, it's the kind of deck that no one's really focusing on trying to beat right now. If players do try to focus a beat, Ironworks, I don't think it's a particularly good deck. Stony Silence, Graveyard Removal, Meddling Mage, Naming, Karkline Ironworks, Discard. There's a bevy of ways to beat the deck.
Oh, even just tempo decks centered around Snapcaster Mage and cheap counter spells like Spell Pierce or even Ceremonious Rejection out of the sideboard.
Yep.
Like, I would love to play against Ironworks combo playing Grixis Death Shadow, for example. You have so much disruption. Your clock is insane. They can't block. They can't remove your creatures with anything other than engineered explosives, and they sure can't deal with a 5/5 backed up with Stubborn Denial.
Now, when players are not focusing on trying to beat Karkline Ironworks because it is such a fringe deck and so few people play it, I think it's a great choice. I think that worked very well for Elsik here this weekend. No one's focus is really on Karkline Ironworks. When we did our pregame show for Modern, we didn't talk about Karkline Ironworks or Ironworks combo once.
Yeah, well, that's because it's not a super popular deck, but neither is Infect. And so from Zach's side of perspective, the Infect decks that would normally prey on Ironworks combo don't really exist in the format. It just so happens in the finals of the Invitational, both players have come packing a deck that neither was expecting.
Yeah, these are two decks that can win, of course. As you mentioned, they are in the finals of the Invitational here, and they did both have very good Modern records. But that said, these are two decks that people are definitely not gunning for right now. So for those of you who came to this tournament looking to beat humans, well, things probably went pretty well. We got no humans in the top 8.
Yes.
Not a great day 2 percentage in the Invitational. Jeskai Control, most played deck in day number 2 of our tournament. But if you took that gamble, like Barich and Elsik did, you probably had a pretty good weekend. So congrats to both of them on some savvy metagaming. Got them to their finals appearance. But right now for Zach Elsik, not a great spot to be in. Taking a mulligan, down 2 games to Infect, back against the wall. Not a lot of room to give, though he will keep this hand. Looks like he's going to scry and keep that card on the top. Pardon me. He's going to move it to the bottom. So mystery card for the first draw step when we get to it, assuming he gets a second turn to the game, which he probably will.
I mean, Infect's fastest kill is a turn 2. You have to enter the red zone with your creature with Infect.
It'll be a chromatic star there for Zach Elsik to start off of a Grove of the Burn Willows. He has a couple copies of Buried Ruin in hand.
If I were Zach, I would be furiously digging for something like Gear for Ether Grid or Galvanic Blast or Pyrite Spellbomb just to have some way to interact. Aaron not playing a creature on turn 1 signifies, to me at least, that he probably has something like Blighted Agent, which he's wanting to cast on turn 2. Now, if he plays that alongside Enigmoth Nexus, which is a fairly common turn 2 play for the Infect deck, one single removal spell is not going to get the job done.
Yeah, that's when things start to get really, really tough, is there's a copy of Engineered Explosives, and that looks like it's going to be for 2. So that'll allow Elsik to fight back against Blighted Agent had it resolved, which it will not because Barich is going to Spell Pierce that, which means he's almost certainly got Blighted Agent now.
Yeah, 100%. He would have played a turn 1 Glistener Elf all day, every day, if he had it. His hand is 100% just going to go second land, Blighted Agent, hope to kill you on turn 3. Let's see if you got it.
Well, there's your Inkmoth, there's your Blighted Agent. You called it, Todd. That's a play that we do see quite a bit there from your Infect players. Gives him 2 Infect threats in 1 turn as we head back over to Zach Elsik for his 3rd turn of the game and potentially, unfortunately for the Elsik fans out there, his last of the tournament. Hope he makes the most of it and is able to continue on here in this game and match as he's going to play a copy of Buried Ruin, play a Mirror Retriever. That is a Terrarian. He's untapping fast. He's untapping fast. He's not playing his spells that fast, though.
I think he's short this turn, but I think he's got it next turn. Playing the Inkmoth as your second land, if you have another land to play, is kind of like this, I don't want to say a backup plan, but if your opponent, kills your Blight Agent while you're tapped out with something like Galvanic Blast, you want them to be threatened by the Inkmoth Nexus killing, but you're also limiting the amount of colored sources you have access to be able to cast more than 1 or 2 pump spells in the same turn.
And Barich with a very modest turn of just playing a Windswept Teeth and passing the turn back. Elsik has a Darksteel Citadel and 2 copies of Karkline Ironworks in hand. So he could try to do his thing a little bit here. He's left without much of a choice, of course, as he'll play the Ironworks. Barich
he just
will consult
doesn't
his
have
hand.
the raw cards total overall to actually go off right here, I think. He can sack the Terrarion for 2 draw card. He can sack the Retriever to get it back. Play it again, sack a draw card. That's not enough. That's only 2 cards. He needs to chain it off.
Yeah, that's not a lot going on. He would have to chain in something like an Ichor Wellspring, and then maybe that can really get him going.
Yep, and he may just want to wait so he gets to untap and use Buried Ruin. I don't know.
Barich looks like he's going to activate Inkmoth Nexus.
This may be in response.
He's going to use Inkmoth Nexus in response.
Yeah, this may be in response to the Clan Ironworks.
Correct. Mirror Retriever is going to trigger. It's going to return something. Looks like it's going to return Engineered Explosives. Looks like this is going to be on the stack. The target will be Engineered Explosives, so perhaps Barich has even more that he'd like to do.
This also might be end of turn. The communication here is clearly just verbal. If Zach Elsik said pass turn, and then Barich was like, okay, end of your turn, I'm going to go ahead and kill that so you can't do crazy things if you get to untap. He also may just go end of turn Nature's Claim targeting Clan Ironworks.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like this member was in response to the KCI. KCI has now resolved Engineered Explosives in hand. Elsik will sacrifice the Darksteel Citadel. He will get 2 colorless mana. He'll sack Terrarian, get 2 different colors of mana now in a red and a green. He'll draw a card from the Terrarian in just a moment, I'm sure. And now he has drawn it. And again, remember, he does have Engineered Explosives in hand. He has 2 different colors of mana, so he is able to Sunburst 2.
Looks like he actually drew a green card. I'm not sure if that's an Ancient Stirrings or a Nature's Claim.
Yeah, it looks like it is an Ancient Stirrings in hand right now. So now that will be an Engineered Explosives in response to Explosives. This is Dissenter's Deliverance. Looks like Elsik will sacrifice a Clan Ironworks in response. Barich is going to untap.
Zach is 100% dead.
Yep.
Barich is playing so fast.
We done.
Let's see the combo of cards that finish this one off.
No present. Activate. Pump. Pump again. The champ is here. The champ is here. Aaron Barich going to win this tournament, defeating Zach Elsik 3-0. Infect gets the bye essentially in the finals, and Aaron Barich of 504 Magic is your Season 1 Invitational Champion. Congratulations to him